Okay, sorry, a bit of technical issue there. So, as I was saying, down Cheonghaechun to the East Gate, and we'll be heading over to from there up Namsan for panoramic views and start again. Okay, let's see. Can we cut it and start again? It's live.
괜찮아. 잘라내면 돼.
나중에 잘라도 돼? Okay, well, it seems I'm new to this. Hi guys, welcome back. My name's Vincent from WeRide. We'll be taking you on an e-bike tour today of, well, Seoul in the evening. Here I've got my e-bike, I've got my lights, I've got my helmet, and we've got an awesome bike lane that's going to take us all the way down to the east gate of the city. That's Hungin-jimun, where we'll find Dongdaemun Market, the place where, let's say, K-pop gets dressed. We'll also be able to see the Dongdaemun Design Plaza, which is where Zaha Hadid's very famous and award-winning architectural project building. It's one of my favorite spots in the city, so look forward to that. We'll be then heading up Namsan, which is the mountain to the south of the old city. It's where the city wall, the southern extent of the city wall, and at the top of there's the very famous Seoul Tower, where we will experience panoramic views of Seoul in the evening. From there, we'll head straight back down here. We'll zoom back, and it should be quite different from now. It'll be quite dark. All the lights will be on, and it should be a lot quieter as well. So I hope you enjoyed the ride. Let's get going. It's quite exciting for me to be on this bike lane today because actually, confession, this is my first time on this particular bike lane. Well, that's not entirely true. I have ridden it before, but it wasn't like this. It's just been redone, elevated off the road level up to the same level as the sidewalk so that the cars and motorcycles can't get into it. And it's also a little bit wider, which is fantastic. This happened this year, this summer. Really excited to try it out with you. This bike lane is a little bit different from the rest of the bike lanes in Seoul in that it's probably, well, to my knowledge, the only bike lane in the country that's on the left-hand side of the road instead of the right, which does cause a few issues with confused drivers at times who are not sure what to do. So we'll proceed with caution, but Korea is a very safe place to ride, and we have our helmet on, we don't ride on the sidewalk, we've got our lights, we're ready to go. It's much cooler in the evening than in the daytime. We had a little bit of a shower. It was 28 degrees during the day. Had a little bit of a shower today. That cooled everything off. It's going to be a beautiful weather for the ride. 지나갑니다. Stopping. So you can see we're still in the financial district at this point, with the tall modern buildings, and a lot of the white collar workers here have finished for the evening and are out relaxing in the coffee shops and bars. This is the Hanwha building. This building recently won an award for its environmental elements and its design. It's a pretty cool structure. That concrete wall there is a part of the demolished Berlin Wall. It sits here as a hopeful reminder to Korea. If Germany can do it, maybe North and South Korea can do it too. So you see an abrupt change in the scenery here from the high-rise financial district buildings to the lower buildings here, which during the daytime would sell things like electronics and tools. I like to think that you can build a tank in this neighborhood for less than $100. You really can get a lot manufactured and a lot of tools made around here. The bridge you can see up ahead above the road there connects a very long building. It stretches across almost the entire neighborhood of Junggu and Jongdo on the other side. And at that point, we're going to make a turn and go under the Seong Sanga Plaza, the Seong Plaza. Now, the Seong Plaza has a really awesome rooftop, which we won't go up to today, but fantastic views this way of Cheonggyecheon, the river, and the other way of Jongmyo, part of the, I guess it's part of the palace. It's connected in some ways to the Changdeokdong Palace. Seoul Plaza has sells mainly electronics and etc., which is true to the neighborhood, but it also has fabrication labs and offices. So it's become known as Maker City for that reason. Let's have a look through. From this side, you can see the rooftop of the Maker City zone up there. Quite an impressive building with the moon off to the side. When it was first built, it was a marvel, a symbol of progress here in Korea. Now it's somewhat dated. In the interim, it became quite run down. But recently, there's a lot of investment in Seoul Plaza, and you can find really trendy coffee shops and galleries up there, and of course that beautiful rooftop. We're riding down the bike lane on a street called Jongno at the moment, which runs parallel to the Cheonggyecheon River. We're still heading east towards the Eastgate Market, and what you can't see in the building to the side here is Gwangjang-sijang. You may have heard of Gwangjang-sijang. It's a traditional food market, one of the largest in the city. We will be popping in for a moment to see what's happening. What many people don't realize about this market is that the second floor is famous for selling traditional Korean dresses, attire called hanbok. Follow me in. We won't go in too far. Let's have a look. For those with a sweet tooth. 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요. 오랜만이에요.
네, 오랜만입니다.
머리가 길어졌어요.
네, 조금.
아이고.
잘 지내셨어요?
길었어요. 잘 있었어요.
좋아요.
다 이루어요. 어떡 하나 줄게.
우리 지금 촬영 중이라서
어?
촬영 중이라서
중이요?
네, 그냥
그때는
짧게 구경해서 다음에 꼭 다시 오세요. 올게요.
그러세요.
네,
지금 인터뷰로 오셨구나 또.
알겠습니다.
네,
건강하세요.
정말 유명해요.
감사합니다. That place is one of my favorite places to get chapsaldok in the whole city. The owner is so lovely, and she's always very kind to all the customers that I bring there. The market's actually not famous for chapsaldok, really. It's more famous for what we can see over here, bindedok, which you'll notice has been shallow fried. It's made with mung bean and usually enjoyed with a good bottle of soju or makgeolli, the two alcoholic beverages here. The market is also famous for yuke, the beef tartare, which is eaten raw. That's the liver over there. Or over here behind us, we can see John. Oh, 감사합니다. Which looks delicious. It's Korean fried pancakes of various types. Definitely recommend a visit to Gwangjang Market. It's a delight. Ooh, what are these? 이게 뭐예요?
봤어요? 봤어.
바스. 패키지는 멋있어요. 아주 레트로입니다. That's a bandage that you stick on yourself when you have aches and pains in your muscles. It relieves the aches and pains. 안녕히 계세요. 또 봬요. Okay. Well, hopefully that was a little taste of Gwangjang Market to whet your appetite. Hopefully you'll be back to see that again on our next store. For now, let's carry on to the Eastgate Market. You might just be able to make out ahead of me the East Gate, Hungin-jimun. Its name is Hungin-jimun. Hello.
Hello.
How are you? Hi. So as you can see, the gate is open at the moment, and you can see the colors are the same as on the palace: green, blue, red, and yellow. This is a royal structure. It's an entrance to the city of the original city of Hanyang. To the left over there, you can see the city wall. The city wall extends 18.8 kilometers around the city, and you can follow that and walk all the way around. It's quite beautiful. Looking through the gate, you might notice that there's a wall on the inside. We'll be going around the gate and you'll see that wall much closer. But that area in there is a lobby. And in order to go through this gate, you had to enter through a second entrance in the secondary wall that's 90 degrees to this gate. We won't be able to see that because it's on the left-hand side of the gate, and we'll be going around the right. But trust me, it's there. Okay, let's keep moving. We're heading straight down to the Dongdaemun Design Plaza, just down the road there, which is right in the center of the Eastgate Market area. During the daytime, this is a bustling daytime market selling mainly shoes. Here at night, of course, it's all shut down for the evening. And you'll get the occasional laundromat open or late night worker. Dongdaemun is actually two markets in one location. So there's the day market, and then there's the night market. This section would be considered the day market. And across the way here, across the Changchun River, we're heading towards the night market. If you like shopping, you can pretty much do it around the clock here. A lot of what we're seeing is wholesale of t-shirts and cloth and jeans and etc. Be bagged up in these packages and sold around, well, sent to all parts of the city to be resold, sometimes to other countries too. quite a contrast to the peaceful ride we had along Cheonggyecheon River. This neighborhood is still going. I'm going to take you to a secret little spot just around the corner here. This is the back end of the Dongdaemun Design Plaza, a building that is the brainchild of Zaha Hadid, British Iraqi architect who won the Puzzler Prize for Architecture in 2004. This building was actually created in 2014, and it took the place of a baseball stadium, which is why you can still see the baseball stadium lights standing over there as a reminder of what was here. The idea of the building is to describe, is to be described indirectly. So it has elements of history, it has elements of culture, it has elements of nature, it has elements of progress in the future. And all of these elements combined is the definition of this structure. And Korea, it represents Korea as well. So it really is a very cool concept. As we ride around this building, you'll see it has tiles on the outside. There are over 50,000 individual tiles on this building. It has aquatic systems and solar panels on it. It's making it a very, very ecologically friendly, low waste producing building. It really is spectacular. What wasn't expected was when they dug it up, they didn't expect to find so many architectural artifacts. And so as we're going through, I'll point out a few down here. You can see remains from the Chosun dynasty. And of course, they found the city wall beneath this structure. So as they built it, the design had to be adjusted for those reasons. Let's have a wander down and ride around the front of the building. Follow me. You can see the Seoul city bikes, Darangi, being moved around. Such a great public resource. see these are actually daytime malls on the main road here. It's the Dusan Tower with Duta, Migalore, APM. And then curling around this side are the night market. Usually bustling with tourists from Asia mainly, looking for Korean fashion. Some of which is bought wholesale and taken back home for resale. If we look over the wall here, you can see the tiles I was referring to. And if you come close, come on over. Below you can see the city wall that was uncovered beneath the baseball stadium. And it really is quite impressive at this time of night how the light comes from behind the towers. It somewhat reminds me of a cuttlefish or something like that. It's pretty awesome. Let's keep going. There's one point I'd like to show you through the building, through that tunnel there, which is quite cool. And then we'll get back on our bikes and ride to the tower, the Ensol Tower. Well, it seems like they're doing some kind of filming here. Well, I guess we'll have to give this bit a miss. Looks like they're filming. Maybe we can have a quick peek. I'm sure they won't mind. But this is quite a spectacular entrance to the building. They're obviously filming some kind of advert, commercial here. But, if we are to look over the wall, you'll be able to see down into the... Come on, let's go in. I'm sure they won't mind. You can see down into the heart of the building there. It's a cool space in the city where families can hang out. There are public pianos to play, and sometimes there's farmers markets down there. It's a pretty neat spot to have in such a busy neighborhood. Let's leave these guys to their commercial. Well, our next stop will be up on Namsan, enjoying the view. So let's go. We're going to stop here at this crosswalk, cross over the road and go over to the city wall there, which will then follow all the way to Namsan, the Nam mountain. In fact, all the way up to the end tower. It just follow it all the way. Okay, here we go. Let's cross over. City wall looks great at this time of night, all lit up. Very smart. Taking a turn through the neighborhood here. Okay. You'll see the city wall again going up behind the Sheila Hotel there. But where we're going is Namsan Tower. So we're right next to a university called Dongguk University, which you can't make out at the moment. It's behind those trees in the frame now. It's between us and the Ensol Tower. This is the Dongguk University station. We're going to cross the street here. And take the bike lane from this moment all the way up to the tower. Okay. Quite a beautiful park here to the side. Hard to see at night time, but it's a nice nice park leading up to the Dongguk University campus. There you can see the main gates to the Dongguk University. Off we go. It's quite narrow at this point, but this is actually a bike lane. You can see the bike markings on the ground. It's one of those bike lanes that is shared with the pedestrians. Prisons. 조금 더 앞으로. 조금 더 앞으로. 오케이. 감사합니다. You can actually feel the temperature getting cooler and cooler as we're climbing up. In elevation. On the other side of this big wall is the National Theatre, which we will pass shortly. before going up the mountain. This is the National Theatre. It's been quiet for some time, unfortunately, with the pandemic, but quite the sensation when things are happening in there. And off we go. This course is very popular with road cyclists and joggers and walkers alike. Will ride up this road. It's very nice because there is a bus that will take you up here, the number 3 Namsan bus, and occasionally you'll have to pull to the side to let it pass by. But it's an electric bus or biogas, so it doesn't have the same emissions as the regular diesel buses and doesn't really disturb your ride too much. Of course, as a cyclist, this is ideal, but there are the mountain. There's a lot more in there than you'd expect. There's exercise facilities and small gardens at places. Always an adventure, always find something new. And here you can see the city wall just up those steps. We'll be passing the city wall periodically here and there as we go up the mountain. Oh, so refreshing. It's beautiful. With these nifty e-bikes, it's not taxing at all. Trust me, I've been up here on a regular bike. I wouldn't be having this dialogue if I were riding a regular bike. It's quite tiring. Now this is a one-way street, so we won't be expecting any traffic coming down, but I can see behind us, coming up, there's the number 3 Namsan bus, silently sneaking up, so we will need to pull to the side in just a moment to let it by. There it goes. Oh, it's the number 4. And this is what we came for.
두 번째 하시.
Wi-Fi 아니지?
셀룰러.
You can see the Lotte World Tower, which is the 5th tallest building in the world, at 555 meters and 123 floors. It's become the focal point, actually, of most New Year's celebrations now, with the fireworks coming out. In front of us, in the center of the frame, you can see Hanam Bridge, which goes through Hanamdong. To the right of that road is the international district of Itaewon, and we'll be able to see a lot more of that as we go to the next view spot. And south of that bridge you're seeing goes over the Han River. On the south side of the Han River, the far side, that is the district known as Gangnam, south of the river. So we're looking at the Gangnam financial districts there. Quite a view. Well, follow me, let's keep going. Show these road cyclists how it's done. The speedometer is quite cool. It actually picks up how fast you're going even when you're on a bicycle. Road cycling in Korea is very popular, and this is a great time to come out because the weather's nice and cool. what a lot of these cyclists will do is the same course that we're doing, more or less, go over the mountain and then down into the back to the through the financial district of Zhonglo, and then continue from the north up the mountain behind the palace, which is called Bugak Mountain. So this is the easy climb for that one. Oh, this is a great view spot. Let's stop here. Wow. Now that is something. Here we're we're looking over the Han River. You can just see the Han River. It's reflecting the city, so it's quite shiny at the moment. But that shiny stretch across the picture there is the Han River, and it curls all the way around. We're looking across to Yoido, which is an island. Those tall buildings there are on an island on the river called Yoido, which is not just a financial center, but also the seat of the National Assembly, which you can actually just make out the National Assembly building. Let's see, right there, that little bit of light at the end of my finger. That's the National Assembly building where the Senate sits. And then, of course, where we came to see the Ensol Tower, which is lit up blue, sometimes green, sometimes yellow, and sometimes red. The neighborhood below us is an international neighborhood of Itaewon and Haebangchon. This is the Itaewon area, and Haebangchon area, Gyeongridan area, very famous for its international demographic. As well as the American Army base, which is that somewhat darker patch of trees that between the river and this well-lit neighborhood. That's the American Army base. Okay, let's continue up. Follow the electric bus to the tower. And the American Army base down there was positioned there because it was outside of the city. It's outside of the original city, outside the city walls. And now, of course, the city has grown. So it ended up being right slap bang in the center of modern day Seoul. As a result, the base has now moved, or is in the process of being moved to Pyeongtaek or Osan, outside of the city of Seoul. And we're seeing a lot less military presence in Itaewon these days. The neighborhood of Haebangchon that we saw down there, all lit up in yellowy orange light. It's again a neighborhood where a lot of foreigners a lot of expats have chosen to settle. But back in the day, it was a neighborhood that sprung up next to the base, where people would seek refuge. So a lot of North Korean refugees settled in that neighborhood. And even today, if you go into Haebangchon, you sometimes hear some accents that are not typical of South Korea and Seoul. just make out the tower from behind the trees here, breaking above through the foliage. Here we are at the Nansen Tower, and this is as close as we can go by bicycle. But before we focus on that, check out what's over here. This is Seoul. And this is why we came. You can see from where we rode down there at Dongdaemun, the Eastgate Market, that patch of light. And you can see the light of the city wall that we followed all the way up here.
One hour 26.
The next step is quite an exciting ride down the hill here, back into the city again. We'll be stopping briefly by a park called Baekbom Gongwon, which means White Tiger Park, before descending down to the south gate of the city. Okay. Wow, this is awesome. Ooh, it's a rare treat to feel a little chilly on a summer's day in Korea. Or a summer's night, I should say. I can honestly say there was nothing unpleasant about that. That was a lovely little descent. Maybe a little tough on the hands. We'll be taking a short detour here. If we were to continue straight, we would, if we were to continue straight, we would end up at the south gate of the city. We're going to take this short detour up into Pekbom Park, White Tiger Park. In the spring, this is a lovely spot to come because all the cherry blossom, all of these are cherry trees and all the cherry blossom is blooming. It's quite spectacular. This is an observatory with a telescope in to view the stars, and underneath that white building, that white canopy you see, is the city remains of the city wall that are being preserved. So I'll just park my bike here and follow me in. I'll show you the Pekbom Park, which is a popular space for families and couples to come and hang out. Lovely during the daytime, fantastic views, and at nighttime alike. Where I'm walking right now is this path of the city wall. It's not here anymore, but it's marked by these stones in the ground, and you can see it, the light of the city wall on the ridge of the mountain ahead of us, extending around the city. coming through the park here, we meet the city wall again. As it curls down towards the south gate of the city. This is definitely one of my favorite views. You can see on the outside of the city wall across to Yoido, the island, and south of the river, and you can see on the inside of the city wall going down to the south gate. Then of course where we came from, the tower, end tower, and the moon shining down, lighting up this, which is Baekbon White Tiger Park. Now you might be wondering, why is it called White Tiger Park? And I'll tell you. Himgu was an integral figure in the independence movement against imperialist Japan during the occupation of Korea. And he's often referred to as the White Tiger. So to get up to the Namsan Tower, there are two ways. Well, actually, there are a number of ways. You can cycle as we did, you can walk, you can run, following the city wall up. There's also a cable car, which you can catch on the Myeongdong side of the Nam Mountain, and that will take you up with a view. Or there's the bus, the electric buses that we saw, the number 4 and the number 3, I believe. I'm sure there's more, but those are the two that I know. I see them the most often. I wonder how many people are wondering why I'm walking around with a helmet on. Okay, back to our bikes. From here we're going to make a pretty straight shot back down the mountain to past the south gate. You'll see a glimpse of the very famous Namdaemun market area. Namdaemun means South Gate, South Great Gate. Its official name is Sunleimun. And then near where we started, we'll be stopping at City Hall with a good night view of the City Hall Plaza, which you may remember from 2002 World Cup. There were lots of impressive pictures of the people gathered on that square watching the World Cup here in Korea. And has now become a bit of a tradition to put a big screen up there and watch international World Cup games every 4 years. Okay guys, let's try and beat that Strava segment. On the left-hand side, you can see the Baekbum Park that we were in earlier. And off to the right, the city that we'll be, financial districts we'll be entering shortly. Just follow the signs to City Hall. Yes. Wow, we've been a bit unlucky with the lights today. But the good news is we have this opportunity to enjoy the view. What you can see ahead of you is the South Gate, Suleiman. as well as between where we are now and the tall buildings in the distance. This area here is known as Namdemi Market, and you can find a lot of clothing, and it's different from the market we were at earlier. It's much larger, it's outdoors, and of course there is a lot of food, but the main focus is clothing and electronics, actually. There's a big camera section I enjoy. Check out the gate. I'll be getting back onto the new bike lane. Unfortunately, people enjoy to stand in the bike lane, so we should be quite careful as we ride through this area. 실례합니다. 지나갑니다. What we can't see is behind these buildings there's a lot of bars and restaurants that a lot of these people are coming out of and catching taxis. That's why it's so busy at the spot. If we were to continue straight down this road, behind us, of course, is the South Gate. And if we were to continue straight down this road, we'd end up at the Palace Gate, Gwanghwamun. Between the two is City Hall, which we're almost at, and opposite City Hall on the other side of the road is another one of the 5 royal palaces in the city, Deoksugong, Deoksu Palace. Deoksu is an interesting one. It's got parts of it that were designed by British architects. It's the most recent, most recently, I don't know, upgraded, I guess. I don't want to say upgraded, that's not right. I mean the most recently added to, so it has the most modern features. It has parts designed by Russian architects. One of the last king of Korea, Gojong, he spent some time in Russia, and he really enjoys coffee. Discovered coffee, so he enjoyed drinking coffee in a pavilion that was designed by Russians there in Deoksugong. Unlike the other palaces, you'll find fountains in there and a more European style palace building, as well as the traditional palace buildings as well. That's Deoksugong, the other side of the road. And here, behind the I Sold You sign, are two buildings that look almost opposites. There's the older, more heavy industrial looking building. That's the original City Hall, and behind it the glass wave-like structure. I like it. I think it goes. I think the contrast is really, really beautiful. Those two buildings are both now the City Hall, Seoul City Hall. And this plaza in front of Seoul City Hall is a grassy area where people will gather for festivals and music and etc. Famously, as I mentioned earlier, the 2002 World Cup saw large groups of people gathered here. Watching the game. Oh guys, thanks for joining me this evening on the evening e-bike tour operated by WeRide. I hope to see you again for the next edition. I hope to take you up on this tour one more time, when maybe on a little bit earlier in the day, so we can see the sunset. That would be interesting. Maybe on our next tour we could possibly explore around the back of the palace, Doksugon. So do come back, check us out again. Each time I find something new, I'll be sure to share it with you. Have a great evening.